The South African Human Rights Commission is considering legal action after it has emerged that some schools still have not received their learning material for the 2017 school year. It's also called Minister of Basic Education to provide a formal undertaking that all textbooks have to be delivered by the 26th of January. And of course, that's in 3 days' time. To talk more about this, we are joined in our Cape Town studio by Andre Guam, who is the Commissioner from the South African Human Rights Commission. Andre, thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you, Leanne. Good morning.
All right, Andre, let's just look into this. I mean, we've got 22 years into democracy and a number of learners still don't have access to the adequate learning materials and textbooks. What's happening? What are we doing wrong here?
Yes, our office, the Office of the South African Human Rights Commission in Limpopo, has done a sample in Limpopo province, and we found that in several schools there, in all 5 districts, there are schools to this effect, have not received their learning and teaching support material, including textbooks. Now, there's been a judgment of the Supreme Court of Appeal. We were a party to that particular court case. And according to that judgment, all learning and teaching support material, including textbooks, have to be delivered before the commencement of the school year. And that has not happened in this case. Yeah. So as a result of this, we wrote last week to the Minister of Education, as well as the MEC for Education in Limpopo, requiring that the learning and teaching support material, textbooks, stationery and the like be delivered by today, and we want the formal undertaking you referred to by the Minister of Education on Thursday, that all learning and teaching support materials have indeed been delivered. We took note of a statement by the Limpopo Education Department in which it indicates that it plans to deliver all outstanding stationery by coming Thursday, the 26th. That is also the date of our deadline.
Yeah.
So we hope that we can resolve this whole matter amicably. If not, we will have to approach the court again, because this is actually in contempt of the court order by the Supreme Court of Appeal.
Yeah, Andre, it's I'm reading the response from the Department of Basic Education, and they're not happy at all with the Human Rights Commission. And just to read what they're saying that the Basic Education Department has taken issue with the SAHRC for communicating a deadline through the media to deliver school textbooks in Limpopo, and will ask the Commission for a meeting to discuss this, saying that it's extremely unfortunate the Commission has chosen to communicate with the Minister through a media statement instead of engaging the department directly. But you're saying you have engaged them, you've sent them a letter.
Yes, now a letter was indeed delivered, both to the National Minister of Education, the Director General of Education, as well as to the provincial departmental head in Limpopo and the MEC, to this effect. The point is, there has been a court case, and the decision of the Supreme Court of Appeal was taken in 2015. So, if we still now have a problem with delivering learning and teaching material on time before the commencement of the school year, as indicated by the court, that should happen before the school year commences, then it's a very serious matter. We have been in court, and the Limpopo Department of Education and the National Minister were respondents in the initial case in the Pretoria High Court. They even took the matter on appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal. So it's a serious matter, and we cannot just, have all kinds of discussions. We need action now. We need the delivery of these learning and teaching material. Yeah. It is in the interests of every learner in Limpopo, and it is really affecting the poor and the vulnerable very negatively. That we still have this problem at this point in time.
Perhaps you can maybe clarify a little bit for us, and obviously you know more about this case, working on it and getting involved in it for Limpopo in particular. What the Basic Education Department are going on to say in this media release from yesterday is saying that as a matter of fact, the delays relate only to stationery and not to textbooks. They're also going on to say it must be made clear that the Provincial Education Department is not delivering new sets of textbooks, but only top-ups to certain schools where shortages were reported as a result of lost textbooks or the increase in learner enrollment. Does that assist in any way? Does that help you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, the Supreme Court of Appeal judgment refer not only to the matter of textbooks, but to learning and teaching support material in general, which includes stationery. So it's a problem that even on their own version, there is still a problem with stationery delivery, and that has not been done, and they only aim to complete that by the 26th. But we hope that we can resolve that matter amicably then by coming Thursday. As far as the matter of so-called top-ups are concerned, as I indicated at the outset, we have done a sample, and in several schools we found that the necessary textbooks that are supposed to have been delivered to those schools were not delivered. Whether this is now part of top-ups or however, whichever term one wants to use, the fact is that the required textbooks have not been delivered to these schools, and that is our concern.
Yeah. Is it only Limpopo that you're looking into? Is this the only province that you are aware of that's struggling with the delivery?
Well, at this point in time, this is the province where we have a very clear indication following some field work that we've done about the delivery. Obviously, we are also doing checks in all the provinces to make sure that that the necessary material has been delivered. We have also had a discussion last week with the MEC of Education in the Western Cape about the accommodation of learners. There's still by then there was still more than 7,000 learners who haven't been accommodated. We met with the MEC of Education in Gauteng on Friday. The chairperson of the Human Rights Commission was also present, also about the matter of accommodation. So yes, it's not only, we're not focusing on Limpopo, we are focusing on the issues that impact the right to basic education that we look into, and that is the important matter for us, that that right is fulfilled.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, it really is. It's a big issue because it seems to constantly be coming up in Limpopo. I mean, you yourself saying the Commission released recommendations after investigations in 2012 on the non-delivery of textbooks and learning materials in Limpopo. December 2016, the Supreme Court of Appeal upheld the High Court order. I imagine you'd be basing everything on these if you do get to a point where you have to take this to a court of law.
Yes, well, the court has pronounced on this matter. The court has clearly stated that the learning and teaching material, including textbooks, have to be delivered before the commencement of the school year.
Yeah.
And the Limpopo Education Department was one of the parties in that particular case. So that is why we take this matter very seriously, and we really urge the Department of Education in Limpopo to make sure that that this problem is solved and that all learners get the learning and teaching materials that they require to commence their school year.
Andre, just on a closing note and one final question to you, and again I take it from the press release that was from the Basic Education Department yesterday, basically saying that they respect the work of the South African Human Rights Commission and want to work with you, but they're advising you and say, we suggest the Commission rather join the department in spreading the message to learners and parents about the importance of returning textbooks at the end of the school year, and this would contribute to an increase in the retrieval of textbooks which incoming learners can use, and they don't have to keep on wasting millions on buying new textbooks. Would you join them and agree with them on this statement as opposed to sort of fighting with them to get school books on time? I don't know.
Well, I think these are different matters. The one matter is that we need to make sure that the learning and teaching materials and the textbooks are in schools. We obviously also want to cooperate with the National Department and the Provincial Departments of Education, and we will cooperate with them. And I do agree absolutely that we should make sure and try and help in convincing learners to return their textbooks to the schools so that these books can be used again the next year. It is obviously quite a financial burden on the department to provide new textbooks every single year.
Yeah, it
and
certainly
therefore
would
learners
be.
should also cooperate, and their parents.
All right, Andre, thank you for talking to us here on the programme. Andre Guam, the Commissioner of the
Thank you, Leanne.
South African Human Rights Commission, talking to us from our Cape Town studios about the issue of non-delivery of textbooks or learning materials for schools in 2017. The deadline is the 26th of January. That's for the delivery, so let's see what happens. Stay tuned. More after this. Just stay with us.